Hello student, this is Evni, your teacher, and today we are learn to solve a case study of production management. Case number 1, Sun Shining Group. Ask a rational question to yourself. If you are to start and design a new fast food concept for Bangalore, where would you start? This is the question Mr. Satyajit Ram, a managing director of Satyam Solution and his business development officers asked themselves. They discussed that since it is a tough market to get into and depends on operating very efficiently on small margin in order to make profit, if any, the major source of information comes competitors who dominate the market, including international brands such as Goli, Rohit, as well McDonald's, having high public acceptance and recognition, plus a nationwide network of outlets, usually in prime locality, consumer compact and high street locations. So any new concept would have to overcome the barriers to entry. One has to think differently as well. It should be attractive to the customers. Also, it has to provide competitive advantage, appealing strongly to customers. Rao's team believes that Sunshining Group will do just that, where the fast food market in the international market has an annual turnover of $10.1, serving 2 billion meals a year. This represents over a quarter of all the meals have been consumed by the people away from home, and the sector shows continuous growth at around 4% per annum. By 2015, the industry is expected to the worth $15 billion. There are nearly 30,000 outlets employing around 25,000 staff. Many of these are owner operated business ventures, including sandwich bars and ethnic ethnic carry away restaurants, but the sector is dominated by major international brands offering products based around burgers, pizza, vada pav, chicken tikki, etc. Out of them, McDonald's and Goli have nearly 55 outlets, and rest 5,500 outlets 5,500 outlets, and rest of the many others has their outlets too. Many of these brands are managed in the international market as corporate franchise. Success in the fast food business depends on a number of key factors. High volume business is essentially, so outlets need to be located where students, pedestrian, consumer, and or a traffic are high. The majority of brands are generally on the high street in retail locations. To increase sales opportunities in these high density locations, carry out immediate to consume as well as cash sales in essential. The meals have to be designed to enable this, and hence the success of the product. To ensure and sustain good volume meals, price have to be competitive, requires low levels of wastage and tight control over production. Fast food operators generally achieve this by keeping a minimum range of the products, that is, list menu items. For example, list menu items so that inventory control is simplified. Each commodity may be used in a variety of ways. For instance, the bun can be used for the butter burger, hamburger, the cheeseburger, honey burger, the jumbo burger, and so on. In some cases, certain food items are cooked to order, also avoiding waste. But in fast food restaurant at peak time, burger and vadas are pre-cooked, pre-fried, and ready wrapped for immediate sale with minimum further preparation, and hence fast food for the avoidance of vast operations waste operators depends on very good forecasting of demand customers to ensure that whatever they produce the high right or near the right forecast quantity of each item. They also forecast demand in coming periods to ensure that they staff their operations as efficiently as possible by rostering the staff to work in flexible shift patterns. Mr. Satyajit Rao knew all this. Having worked in the industry as a premier consultant, the team as well, he himself would like to ask a question. How could Sunshining Group can capture a share of this growing and lucrative market? Facts of the case. The fast food business is booming like anything. The projection were too lucrative to enter into the business. In fact, it seems that this is the high time to catch the opportunity. Mr. Satyajit Rao himself has got the experience providing various consulting solutions from his desk to various people. The competition in the market is steep, and in fact is not restricted to Indian competitors but with the market giants like McDonald's. Majority of the meals were consumed by the people away from the home. The growth potential of the industry is forecasted to be 50% increasing in the next 5-year period. Out of the total outlets, including those in foreign too, are around 30,000, but the major competitors only holds 55 openings. High volume businesses is projected as a major success factors, whereas location of the outlet is also treated as one of the key to success. The immediate food consumption as well as carry away businesses seems to be great for the opportunity. Meals price of course have to be competitive. There should be control, in fact tight control on the wastage also, which ensure the basic line of profitability. The important factor pointed out that here the projections plays important role in the profitability as well as wastage too. The key to success is also a strategy by providing minimum variety so that resources inventory can be shared by various varieties at offered. The forecasting plays important role as is the case of wastage. It is important in the case of customer service too. Here the people have to plan for according to the season or demand pattern. Even flexibility in their operations is to be ensured in case of any emergency too. Mr. Satyajit Rao still has some appreciations as to how apprehension as to how all this can be worked out. Problems involved in the case. There are various issues involved in this case, such as this is the first case as it looks like for Mr. Satyajit Rao that he himself is involved in the situation not as a consultant but as the real stakeholder. It is the case of handling steep competition. The issue of prime location is as important as other competing factors. In this situation, it is also to be looked that the products have perishing ability. Since this is a case of fast food restaurant, here the taste of the locality is also important. Analysis of the problem. Mr. Satyajit Rao started to being with the product as its primary product. Even the major product segment had two major competing brands in the business at Bangalore. What was needed was a menu concept for which there was high demand but no major competition. They selected all day breakfast in a bun as their core products. Most of the big burger restaurants were offering fast food breakfast that is in a bun as their. Since Mr. Satyajit Rao and his enthusiastic team were enthusiastic team were looking for a workable as well risk-free outcomes for their problem. They took a market survey of existing brands and such as Rohit, Goli and McDonald. That means not only local brands which are already established but also the global brands too. Another important feature of the problem is one has to acquire a prime piece of hand as the location since it has got major impact on the customer base. The study further highlights some of the facts that the handling of established brands is very tough as well risky as far as investment is concerned. The study showed that if one has to get established, it requires price under control as well as reduction in the wastage too. This is keeping the inventory minimum and providing the entire menu promptly. The important criteria are that one cannot carry over the remaining production next day since it involves risk of the fatal loss. The image of the restaurant is in the long range is at stake. This is the reason why one cannot keep the inventory at a high level just to keep items ready for immediate consumption. One important thing is in the hand of Sunshining Group, and that is they know the exact taste of the local customer since it is area specific and it requires at least some time to cope up with it by the outsiders such as Rohit Goli and McDonald too. This is the time where Sunshining Group got as an upper hand. Alternative solution. Solution number one. The market research showed that the service is one of the important criteria for this kind of industry, and hence one has to think in this area more minutely as a competitive advantage. That is all the others stopped serving the breakfast by 11 am in order to switch production to their own core products, that is meals, whereas the past experience showed that from roadside sales the breakfast was popular all the day, not just in the morning. Market research team also showed that breakfast was an expanding segment of the market. The menu would therefore be based around combination of egg, roasted chicken and sausages served in a bun, as well some special vegetarian items to be served such as green chili, cabbages, butter, honey, etc. along with pancakes, packages served either served or sweet. At the same time, Mr. Satyajit Rao has to think that emotion does not play a role in business decisions since he himself is involved in the process of decision making. It became a bit tough for him as well to his team for to take decision. This is a case of handling odds, such as the Sunshining Group can go behind, such as keeping all day open for breakfast along with the main menu of meals too. This could be the strategy for new businesses when the group has decided to own or hire a prime piece of location. Then it is all the way important that the Sunshining Group should utilize its am- amenities for round the clock rather than in the prime time only. This will further cut the cost burden on the mills, which is the in the in turn make it as more competitive to the market. The labor flexibility is also to be ensured by rotation basis to take care of any kind of contingencies. The motto should be work should not get suffer and the customer should be served well. Solution number two. These are the day of new thing. All the new are to be accepted for change. The trade has to be tried or Mr. Satyajit Rao should be cautious but should not be hesitant. Even after working so many years in the field of consultancy, he is in rather better position to arrive at a workable solution as per the market survey results. Sunshining Group has decided to enter the market with the arms in their hands. They have decided to face the competition but on their own way. Since new is the solution, they have decided to market their product with this them new theme. This theme, new new products, packages, new people, young at heart and smart at work. Sunshining Group also want to become famous within short time by providing complimentary drink after meals. That is fresh coffee. Many fast food restaurants did not serve this kind of coffee, although new specialty chains might have grabbed it but did not market it their predominant feature. The next issue was location. All the best locations were occupied by existing fast food outlets. Sunshining Group needed different location criteria to the typical restaurant. Mr. Satyajit Rao and the team decided that the concept should be aimed at host environments rather than located on the high street. Their outlets would be located inside existing service businesses such as supermarkets, cinemas, sports area, arena, and so on. This had a number of advantages. First, such locations had the high level of passing traffic. These operations required second franchises contracts could be signed with major companies, thereby facilitating access to the finance needed to build each outlet. Third, the concept could be rolled out very quickly, thereby achieving the economies of scale needed to sustain marketing, IT, and system expenditures. But location in a host environments created a major problem. Outlet size. While the supermarkets or cinemas want a fast food service, they do not want to allocate too much space to it. So, Sunshining Group is designed to have a micro footprint that it to say. it maximizes sales in the smallest space available. The total space required is 32 square. This is the smallest footprint of any fast food concept. To achieve this, the team researched the latest fast food equipment to find griddles, hot cupboards, coffee machines that were small, easy to use, and efficient, and they could make use of vertical height to suit the purpose. One consequence of the small place was that staffing levels are low, again a situational advantage. One person can operate the full production area and one or two the service counter. The use of disposables means that wash up in almost non-existing equipment maintenance and cleaning is carried out by the staff during slack periods. There is limited provisions for it in customers since stand-ups are mounted in the outlets on stool at eating levels. Most customers are expected to carry away, which makes sense in filling stations, sports areas, as and cinemas. While sales volume in such small operations will not match to those achieved by fast food restaurant on the high street, Mr. Satyajit Rao and his team have rewritten the rules of the games. Their concept can be built into a host environment for less than rupees 50,000 and the sun shining operations costs are low. The average project sales volume of rupees 4,500 to 6,000 per week is more than enough to give a good return on capital invested. If one major supermarket chain, one major cinema chain, and one major petrol company franchises the operation, Sunshining Group could have more outlets than any other fast food concepts within next 2 years. Solution number 3. The Sunshining Group can also do the business by franchises further as a part of design and development of the business link. Mr. Satyajit Rao and team has to take pains to design the fast food restaurant as a system so as to sell it as a chain to the people who has capital but does not have businesses link to work with. Looking at the projection of the businesses in near future, it is quite a beneficial solution to design and hand over the business's activity as a ready-made business's proposal to those who are willing to pay for this. Here, the Sunshining Group is relieved from the pressure of stakeholder of the businesses group, but now the group can enjoy the commission on making the customer ready for the businesses to take over in different cities as well as various locations as the case of Bangalore in is concerned. The system has to be designed with keeping in mind the local needs for taste and service quality required. Once the businesses achieves the target of say 500 outlets, they can shift over their attention or to find out still new businesses venture as the case demands. Now, the current scenario at Bangalore, Mr. Satyajit Rao is interested to start his own fast food restaurant at Bangalore, but only worried as to what can go wrong and how to combat the issue. Keeping these issues in mind, the team proposed a workable solution, and that is the concept selling of the fast food chain. This would also be welcome move as far as the bankers and other stakeholders in the Sunshining Group is concerned. The businesses can achieve a new height by continuing what they are supposed to be master of. Conclusion. Looking at the above three alternatives, it is clear that Sunshining Group does not worrying about concept but has got an appreciation apprehension regarding the probable rate of success. Mr. Satyajit Rao and his team don't have doubt as to whether their restaurant would be a failure. They are a bit careful on the part of return on capital invested. This is important issue as far as today competitive scenario of businesses is concerned. Hence, the best solution amongst the three would probably be the solution number two, since it involves the basic inclination of Mr. Satyajit Rao to enter into his own business venture, not as consultant but the real player in the field. Secondly, it is his own branding as he was successful consultant for past few years. Third, it boosts today feeling of new in the business, service and the delivery as well in the system too, with bonds of tradition as a test to be preserved. Thus, students will learn about to solve the case study of production management. Thank you.